Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday Live. My name is Ashley Hay. I'm a mixed media artist and I love working with Powertex. So today, of course, we are going to look at Bunny and I'm quite excited for that. But before we do that, I'm just going to say little bit of a recap of what's happened for the last couple of weeks. So, of course, I've been away, which has been very lovely, had some lovely family time up in Coral Bay, swimming with the turtles and the fishies and the coral up there, which I've got a whole myriad of paintings in my head that I want to do in the studio. So it's going to be a bit of fun working on some of those. And while I was away, of course, the wonderful Natalie Parrish from Bag End Studio did a couple of lives of her new art space up there at Uringapilly, which looked absolutely awesome. So it was wonderful to see the interview with Christina Davidson in the first one, where she was talking about her paintings, and we saw the fabulous setup for the exhibition and workshop space with Natalie. And then the second one, of course, was with Michelle Payne, where we saw the fantastic work that she's been doing on the combi vans, and which was just absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much for doing those, Natalie, while I was away. And if you have missed those, be sure to watch them. The new art space in Queensland is just gorgeous. Lots and lots of opportunities to network and connect with artists there in that space. And of course, if you are looking for a creative space, then you can get along there too. So Bag End Studio, new art space in Uringapilly, and watch on the Creative Hub if you would like to have a look at those videos and you missed them. So today I am going to be talking about stone art. I'm going to show you how to use texture plates to actually create some gorgeous texture, and I'll show you where I'm up to with my bunny. And if you guys have been making one, then I hope you're enjoying it. If you are local in Perth, I have the wonderful Christy Margam Elkins coming this weekend to the Powertex studio in Safety Bay. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've actually already made a few bunnies, as you know, but I'm actually really looking forward to making another one for Easter. She's come up with a beautiful design called The Offering, and it is a bunny holding a carrot full of Easter eggs. So if you're looking for something social and a bit of fun to do this weekend, then this is him on the screen now. He is just absolutely gorgeous. There are still a few places left if you would like to join us and come along for a bit of a laugh and Easter fun. So there we have it. So we'll get cracking on this one. So you all saw where I was up to with this one in the post. So you can see that I've actually done a little bit more embellishing since the last time that I worked on him. So I showed you how to do the embellishing on his face the last time, and all I've done is I've taken that throughout his body a little bit more. So just a note on that. This is actually a very simple finish that I've got on this one. So it's just done with the Powertex and sand. So of course, if you wanted to and you wanted to make it look a little bit more covered, you could actually take stone art or easy 3D flex over his whole body so that you actually get a really, really cool textured surface on it. But what we're going to do today is we're just going to create a little bit of interest in his little belly area here, and I'm going to use some stone art clay that I've made up with black Powertex, so it's black stone art clay. Then we'll press some rubbing plates into it and we'll highlight it. The other thing that would be really nice is to put a little bit of stone art on his paws, and then I can give him some little feet. So that will probably be what I do too. Whether it's today, probably won't have time during the live, but I'll show you doing his belly. The feet are just the same, except I won't put rubbing plates. I'll just give him a few little toes and then embellish that as well. Hey Robin, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining. And yes, I am excited to be back, and I look forward to seeing you in the studio again when we see you here. Okay, so let's get cracking on him. So as I say, I've already got a little bit of stone art clay made up. Of course, it's wrapped in some Glad wrap here to keep it nice. And it has been pre-mixed for a while, so it has been sealed in an airtight container, and you can see it's still quite workable. So that is one of the fantastic benefits with the stone art clay, is that you can actually have a batch mixed up and ready to go for when you want to use it. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this, and we'll just move the bunny back a little bit. Still haven't named him. I think he's got to be finished. I think he's not telling me what his name is yet, so I look forward to him having a little chat with me maybe this week to find out what he's going to call himself. Lynn's just saying, hi, Coral Bay is the place on earth. Absolutely, it is heaven on earth, Lynn. It is just absolutely gorgeous up there. I'm just about ready to turn around and go back for Easter. I actually did think about it. You know, if Mark could get another week off in between Easter and the Anzac Day weekend, I think we'd go up again. All our friends are going to be up there at that time. So yeah, all right, so you can see that I've just basically rolled that clay into a ball, and then I have just flattened it out a little bit. So what I want is, I want it to be approximately the shape that I want to do on the belly. So you can see I've made it quite a nice long elongated sort of oval there. And that is actually going to sit quite nicely on there. So if we have a look at this other one that I've already done, so this is what we're aiming for, is this sort of thing. So you can see what I've done. I've actually squashed it down on the edge so that it actually sits really nicely on the edge. It feels like part of his body. And then this was done with bronze Powertex, and then it's been pressed into with the rubbing plate, which I'll show you, and then it's been highlighted. So that's sort of what we're going for. So let's just have a look. So I think I can make it a little bit bigger. So we'll just give it a bit more of a roll. I might do it sideways so it gets a little bit wider. There we go. That's looking quite good. All right, so we're going to go with that. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a little bit of black Powertex that I've already put out in a cup here. And I might just put down this so that I'm not getting it all over my nice clean mat. And we want a brush. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Powertex on the back of that. I'm not going to worry about putting it onto my rabbit because it's nice and wet on the clay. And then we'll just position it where we want it. Don't want to get any of that black Powertex on my white rabbit, so just wipe my hands off there a little bit. All right, so you can see now that that's just basically sitting on there in place. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to work it down into that edge a little bit, just with my fingers. I can also use a sculpture tool if I wanted to. I seem to have left them all out of my gear this morning. That's what happens when you've been away, right? Hey, Natalie, lovely to see you on. So if you missed the beginning, you'll have to have a listen again. We talked about the fabulous lives that you did while we were away. So thank you so much for holding the fort on those. And it was just wonderful to see your creative space up there in Queensland in Yuringapilli. I hope I've said that right. All right, so once you're happy with the shape of that and the way that it's sitting into the form, so I just want to bring it into his little arm there so that it's actually feels like part of his little tummy. So it's tucking in under his belly there, coming around. So I'm just stretching that clay out a little bit on those edges. Now, for those of you who love mixed media, just while I'm working away here, yesterday I put up a new YouTube video which shows you how to do a mixed media canvas, so you might want to have a look at that. So it's definitely worth a look. So that's on the Powertex Australia channel on YouTube, and it is mixed media painting. So that is a bit more free content that you guys can have a look at and learn from. And then, of course, if you love that, you might want to do one of my online workshops. So check it out. All right, so that's looking really nice. So he's got his lovely little fat belly happening there. I could keep working it, but it's pretty good where it is. And it's flowing nicely with his little belly there. So I'm quite happy with that. So then what we want is we've got some different rubbing plates here. So I've got some different patterns. So the one that I used on the other rabbit, as you can see, is this one here. So it's all sort of swirly. This one is kind of interesting. So it's just got a different design. This one is actually leaves, but I kind of thought, well, it looks kind of, you know, a bit hairy, a bit rabbity. If I wanted to, I could also use some texture plates or any other texture as well that I've got around the studio. So, yeah. I just want to use the swirly one again, but come on, Ashley, let's use something different and let's go with this leafy one. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to just basically squeeze that onto his little belly there. And I'm just going to check how that texture is going. So you can see that it's got that impression on there. I'll just hold it up a bit closer so you can see that. So it's less designy, but what I can do is I can also actually overlap some of this because I want a little bit of texture coming into here as well. I thought I'd bought the one that looked a little bit corally, but I hadn't. But this will make it a little bit more abstract. See how that's actually making a gorgeous sort of impression. So see how it's more abstract patterned in there where I've just done it. So Robin's just saying that she's seen the mixed media painting video and she really enjoyed it. So thanks for the feedback, Robin. That's really lovely. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. So I'm just going to do a bit more stamping into some of here. And I'm also going to take some into this side too. So you can see that's looking just glorious on this side whereas down this side it's a little bit less patterned. So I'm just going to find another little corner there that I want to use. The other thing that's happening is while I'm actually pressing the rubbing plate, it's actually really squishing these edges down a little bit more, which is always really nice too. Just looking for an area that I want to use. I might use the edge of this leaf up here. Oops. Got dropsy today. I must still be on holidays. I just had the best time while I was away, and yes, Natalie, I am feeling very refreshed, thank you. And the reason we went up to Coral Bay, of course, was because my stepdaughter got married up there, so it was just gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful family time, and what a place, beautiful place in the world to get married. So it was just gorgeous. All right, so I'm quite happy with that now. I am finding this line through the middle here a little bit too much like a leaf, so I think I'll just break that up a bit. So these are just creative decisions that you can make, and you can see I don't want it to be really leaf-like, so I'm just using that texture plate to really create a bit of a design. So that's looking really yummy now. Look at that texture. So where we will see this all come out is when we do the highlights, which I'm going to do now. The other thing that I do just want to say quickly, I should maybe just looking at it, and I'm being very self-critical here, as we all are with our artwork at times. So if that's you, I know that there's many of us out there who look and go, oh, I should have done it that way. So that's what I'm thinking now. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should have taken it up a little bit higher. It's probably sitting a little bit low down on his belly there, but that's okay. If I really wanted to, I could just add another little bit of clay above it and make it look like it's marrying in. So let's get some Powercolor pigments now, and we'll just lighten this up, and I'll show you how that beautiful texture comes up. It is just gorgeous. And as I was saying before, if I wanted to, I could actually just roll out a bit of stone art clay and cover his paws, and then use a sculpting tool just to give him the impression of some little feet on there, which is probably what I'm going to do. So Robin's just saying, fantastic to go swimming with the turtles, very jealous. Yes, Robin, it is just so magical up there. The fact that you can go off the beach straight onto the Ningaloo Reef on beautiful corals is just absolutely incredible. There's not many places in the world where you can actually swim straight onto coral off the beach. So, and actually see turtles when you do that. So yeah, it's quite an amazing and very special place. Alrighty, so I've got some titanium white Powercolor. I've got a bit of easy varnish, and I've got my just a little bit of a palette here. And so of course I'm just going to put a little bit of the varnish out. Don't need too much because it is basically a dry brush technique, and we're going to just use the tiniest bit of the medium with the actual Powercolor pigment. So I've probably put way too much Powercolor out, but that's okay. Okay, put that lid back on so that I don't spill it. So I'm just cleaning my brush here, making sure I haven't got any black Powertex still in my brush, because yes, I am using the same one. So I've given it a bit of a wash, and I have a dry cloth here that I can dry that brush onto as well. And you would have seen I'm just swishing that brush on my skin there too, and so that I just find that actually dries the brush off totally on my dry skin. So Natalie's just saying, oh, stop it, I'm jealous. Yeah, I know, Natalie, it's just somewhere that you love in WA too. So, yeah, it was gorgeous. This is probably a bit of a big brush for doing this, but that's okay. I'll go with it. Haven't got a smaller brush here. I cleared all my gear out. So I had a bit more room this morning and I didn't think through which brushes I'd need very well, did I? All right, so I'm just going to test this on an area here. So what I want to do is I don't want to get it in the black crevices. I want to actually hit the top of the clay so that it's just picking up that texture on the top. And I can do that very, very carefully. As I say, a slightly smaller brush would have been good. But look how beautifully that texture comes out, and how easy is that? That is one of the things that I do love about the Powertex Art Supplies. With it, once you learn a few techniques, you just you can do some really beautiful artwork without having to too much bother. So it does make creating art really, really easy, which I love, and I love teaching people how to be creative with Powertex. And I know that all the trainers around Australia as well love that, and I'm sure around the world too. So what have we got here? You could put a bow tie on Reginald Rabbit, Robin says. How is that for all the R's? So Reginald Rabbit, it's Robin's recommendation. So, yeah, I could put a bow on him. Bow tie would be quite nice. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? So then what I want to do is I would want to marry that colour in so that it feels like it's all part of him. Now, the other thing is, it is really, 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 really easy to get carried away with your colouring, and sometimes you can overdo it. And Robin's going, no, really, Ash? You can overdo it. And so, but the great thing is that if you do make anything a colour that you don't quite like, you just do it again. So that is the beauty of it. You can just really do it again. So you can see now what I said before, the decision about bringing up a little bit of stone art clay a little bit higher on that left-hand side would be really, it would just make it a little bit more perfectly perfect. So I probably will fix that, but by the time I'm finished this, that will all look like it marries in beautifully like this other one does here. So you can see it just looks, it's got a beautiful transition into the rest of his body. And so I'll just use some of the pigment to go into there. I can also take some of the Bister back onto it. So instead of spraying the whole thing again with Bister, I can just put a little bit of Bister onto my palette and use a brush and just paint the Bister in. I could also use a little bit of bluish grey again in the Powertex, or I could use some of the grey power colour to actually create a little bit of more darkness. So that's just something that is a personal decision when you're working, and you just try different mediums, you play with the different things that you've got and work out creative solutions so that you get the best possible piece you can do. It is really, I really recommend spending the time to really make your pieces beautiful. So if you take care and you really look at the finish and you look at your sculpture and you turn it around and you look at it from different aspects, and then you just make small adjustments, you will find that that is where your artwork goes from being really good to being really awesome. So take the time, spend a little bit of time on those extra finishing details, and you will get it out. So Robin's just saying it's amazing that the pattern was leaves. Yeah, it's really looking lovely, isn't it? Look at that gorgeous pattern that is happening on there. And so you can kind of see that it's leaves, but it's much more of an abstract impression now, which is nice. Natalie's saying Reggie Rabbit. So I'm loving these. I quite like Reggie, actually. Reggie Rabbit is kind of cool. And Christine saying, hi, welcome back. I missed your workshops, and this is a beautiful bunny. She's just asking if the instructions are online. So no, Christine, you'll just have to watch the last 3 episodes of Friday Live, and you can easily do that. They are on YouTube and they are also on the Facebook videos. So you can easily find those. The link is in the comments for last week's one, and you'll be able to go and watch them all and make your own, or pop into the studio this weekend and join us for some Easter Bunny fun. It's going to be a nice social day on Saturday, and it's going to be a wonderful day in the studio. So I know you're around. If you feel like coming for a trip up to Perth, it would be lovely to see you. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you have enjoyed that today. And as I say, I'll do a little bit more work on finishing my bunny off, and I'll post him in the Creative Hub once he's finished for you guys to see. So take care. Have a wonderful creative weekend. I look forward to seeing your bunnies. Be sure to check out that new mixed media canvas on YouTube, where you can learn a few little techniques for what you can do with painting. There are so many possibilities. So I look forward to sharing more with you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I've just got another comment. Reginald Rabbit the Third. Reggie for short. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful creative weekend. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. And I should say, next week I have special guest artist coming on, Renee Warwick, who is going to join us. She is going to show you guys her beautiful birdhouse that she has created from the Cobwebs Craft Studio kit that is available from Powertex Australia and also Bag End Studios. So it is a gorgeous kit, and she will be giving you some tips and tricks for how you can put those kits together, and she'll be talking through some of the elements that she's done on her own birdhouse. So I look forward to that and having a chat with Renee next week, and I know you guys are going to love it. So see you soon. Have a wonderful creative week. Bye.